Hello! Welcome to another episode of Mega Manga Monday. I am Jason Hahn, and today, pretty exciting day. Normally we would just be talking about the new Boruto chapter, which, that's its own thing, but I am incredibly excited as a Naruto fan to say that we have a new Naruto manga to talk about. They've adapted one of the short stories that they've adapted into or as a book, a short story book essentially, that they're adapting into a full manga, and I'm very excited. But before we get all into it, I am Jason Hahn. I'm a writer for ScreenRant.com. I happen to write a lot of video game related stuff, but I'm a huge manga fan, so started Mega Manga Monday to talk about the series we love. And we're going to be getting into Boruto Chapter 74 later on. But the first chunk of our podcast, we're going to be talking about Naruto, Sasuke's story, the Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust, Chapter 1. We're adapting a short story that came out a couple years ago, I believe. I personally haven't read it, but I am just excited that we're, kind of doing like a new Naruto story. I'm really digging the art style too. But I've got some buddies here to talk about it with me. Steven, how you doing, man?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well. My name is Steven. I write for the comics section, anime, and manga section of Screen Rant. I'm doing interviews too, but yeah, really excited to talk about both Sasuke's story and Boruto. Exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're quite excited to talk about the Boruto chapter because it was a pretty interesting one with what they're doing with that arc right now. It's very exciting to be talking about something kind of a sidetrack of that. So we also got Todd with us today. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Um, yeah, I'm Todd. I'm a former writer for Screen Rant. Right now, I'm kind of just doing different things, but I'm excited to be here talking about the new Naruto chapter and the new Boruto chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how often these. I don't know what the easiest way to call the Sasuke story manga, I guess. It would be the easiest way to go about it. I don't know how often these chapters are going to be coming out. I don't know if it's going to be monthly. I'm okay with it being monthly, but it's definitely not going to be weekly, unfortunately. But it starts off. I mean, I don't know really anything about this short story. I've read one or two of them, but it wasn't anything to do with this. But it picks up right with Naruto's already the Hokage, and the first couple pages are in full color and look great. And you see like a weakened Naruto pretty much like pleading to Sasuke to not leave to this mysterious town we've never heard of in the original series called Red Aku. Excuse me. And Sasuke just jumps away with the distressed Naruto yelling at him. Very like it's very high drama, and by the end of this chapter, we do figure out why Sasuke was leaving, and kind of going back to this part after you have the context, it still feels like really over dramatic, I think. But come to find out, Naruto is not doing so well. He's apparently suffering from some sort of mysterious sickness that plagued the original Sage of the Six Paths. So Sasuke has taken it upon himself to go to this mysterious village that apparently the Sage of the Six Paths visited way back when while he was traveling the country, and he was able to get cured of this mysterious sickness. So Sasuke has a mission. He's going out. We don't see Boruto at all.
Don't get too excited. No.
Yeah, right.
For better or worse.
Yeah, we've definitely done podcasts about the Boruto series lately. So if you want to hear our thoughts on what that series is doing right now, feel free to reach or to go back and listen to the Mega Manga Mondays podcast on the Boruto chapters. But this is kind of starting its own series, its own story. It's not connected to anything else that's been going on in Boruto. It feels like you can just enjoy this as a straight up Naruto fan without any Boruto knowledge. And that's honestly what I've been hungry for. I think the Naruto universe is primed with so many interesting stories that could be told. And it is really unfortunate that some of the filler arcs didn't cover more interesting topics because, I mean, you give me a couple minutes, I could think of a great prompt that would make a great filler arc, like first Hokage, his first days as Hokage. What happened to the second Hokage? How did he die? Just there's just so many like unanswered questions that I feel could make a compelling story here. And honestly, I was really enjoying like how this one is setting up like a new mysterious area we've never been to. Um,
Yes.
new characters that may or may not play a bigger role by the end of this. But just getting to see like a new village. It's we don't really learn a whole lot about like customs or anything like that, but just like people reacting differently to Sasuke using ninjutsu and stuff. People are like, "Oh, that must be ninjutsu," and even Sasuke is just like, "It's a little bit more complicated than that," but yeah, sure. Just getting to see like a whole fresh perspective on. I mean, we know all the crazy things Sasuke can do at this point, and this is before stuff happens in Boruto that nerf dramatically both Sasuke and Naruto, and we won't get into that in case you haven't read any Boruto or watched any of it. If you are curious, I've got a little timestamp in our description on when we do start the Boruto chat stuff, so feel free to jump into that. But it was just really, really nice to see like a new location, new characters, just interacting with the things that are so established for us fans already of like Sasuke's abilities and stuff like that. That was probably my favorite aspect of it, was just being in a new area and seeing how the rest of the world operates, you know, outside of Konoha, because we've spent so much time in Konoha. And that's something I think Kishimoto did a great job, is like building the world around, especially once you start learning about all the other hidden ninja villages. But yeah, here we're just going to just essentially a normal village as far as we know. And then we get this whole prison situation where Sasuke captures some convicts, and they mysteriously say, "Oh no, now we have to go to this super evil prison." And of course, come to find out, for plot and interesting story's sake, this interesting prison is apparently where the thing Sasuke is looking for might be. So Sasuke finds his own way into the prison, and we get to see him be the new guy in prison, and he doesn't go punch the biggest guy in there to assert his dominance. He kind of just lets it all happen and play out. But lots of but before I get into like the ending of this chapter and stuff, I'm anxious to hear what you guys thought of this.
Right. I mean, I guess I'll start by saying, you know, because I've written a few articles on this already, and just to gain a better understanding, just because, you know, it does, since this is being adapted from a light novel, it's just good to get like, you know, a backstory. And without actually telling you what happens, this is actually a continuation of another Naruto light novel, which has not been adapted into a manga, which is interesting because it's kind of the prequel to this.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's called Naruto Retsuden. And basically, without saying, really giving anything away, Naruto Retsuden basically almost confirms how Naruto might have gotten what's plaguing him right now. And then obviously, this story, I believe, just based on what's going on, is that they're going to be figuring out, you know, how to heal it, which you said, obviously. But yeah, so Naruto Retsuden covers how this may have happened.
Well, I guess don't be afraid to spoil that, because I doubt that they're going to suddenly adapt that into the manga. So anybody who's possibly listening to this and, you know, reading this chapter as the first time that they've seen anything post Naruto, like, fill us in. Like, what was?
Sure.
I'm really surprised that this is like they're just starting.
Yeah, kind of like going in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, I don't know everything because I still want to read it.
Okay.
Just because, like, I just have to find out where. So basically, Kurama the nine-tailed fox,
Mm.
says, or he doesn't really confirm or verify it, but he's saying that everything that Naruto has done as a ninja has been, plaguing him. Like this is the effect of him maybe doing an insane amount of shadow ninjutsu, things
Shadow
like that. So
clones.
it's like, so like all of like the ninjutsu he's been using since the very beginning is having a physical toll on him, and that's most like what it is. And it's actually, they don't reveal it here in Sasuke's story, and because that's one thing I was looking up, because when I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, it looks like a heart problem, but then like he's clutching the wrong side of his chest. Like I was like, left side, okay, no, it's the wrong side. But then I was looking it up, reading more into this, and it is like a heart condition. We just don't know anything more than that. And the reason why I was looking that up in the first place is because I'm like, if it's a heart condition, this is kind of like, what Dragon Ball Z did with Goku. He gets the mysterious, heart virus. And now we're having the protagonist of Naruto going through the same thing. So just doing one of those fun type of comparison articles. But yeah, so basically it seems to be a condition that's affecting his heart, but it's based on things that he's done, overexerting himself, for example. So I guess we can guess that the Sage of the Six Paths may have overexerted themselves, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So this is very interesting. Like you're saying that they didn't adapt Naruto Retsuden, the first part of this story, since this is basically a continuation of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a strange choice to have it open with that dramatic, like, Sasuke, don't leave, or you're going there, aren't you? No. And and then literally like 20 pages later we get the whole flashback of like, oh no, my chest is hurting, and you're like, oh okay, well Sasuke and Kakashi will go figure it out.
You know what I'm wondering though? Like I don't, cause I have to go back and read Boruto, but I don't know. They may have answered this or may have not. But we've known that Sasuke has been away from home and hasn't been able to be a father figure or a husband because he's been on these, hush hush missions. I'm wondering if this could have been one of those missions.
Oh,
but the only
possibly.
thing is, it's like we've never seen Naruto, clutching his chest and having spasms and freaking out. So it's like I'm always wondering. I wonder if this is one of those secret quests he's been going on.
Possibly. And I think that's kind of a weird thing. It's just like, oh, you've been ninja-ing too much, man. You got to stop ninja-ing so much, said Kurama. And it's just kind of a weird, like, because especially after everything that we saw in the Ninja War, like, you would think that other people, especially Madara, like, Madara survived, to be a super old guy in the cave and the whole Abato situation. That guy was ninja too much, if you ask me.
It's the same about Sasuke too.
Yeah, he wasn't suffering from those heart issues, but maybe the ghetto statue was like, fixing heart problems, so maybe Naruto needs his own little ghetto statue or something. I don't know. But I just feel like that's kind of a weird. I almost wish that it was that's something that just happens with Jinchurikis. If you use too much of their power or something like that, then your body can't keep up with it or something.
It probably could be that, because it was my impression that Kurama was just being overly secretive and only giving some information. So I don't know if that's like a definitive answer, but we just know that it is a result of something that Naruto has been doing.
I hope that this is one of those, like, I mean, in our own headcanon, we can absolutely just say, like, oh yeah, this is one of those things Sasuke was doing while not being a father. But in my own headcanon, Sasuke was out restarting the Uchiha race. Got to repopulate the world with Uchihas. So
Jesus.
That's what I always thought Sasuke was doing.
That would have me hate him even more.
Yeah. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet. We haven't had a whole bunch of bastard Uchiha children come to Konoha looking for their dad. Great
That
filler.
would be an awesome story, though.
That'd be a great story. See, it took me a couple minutes. I'm full of them. Kishimoto, get a hold of me. But yeah. Todd, what were your thoughts on the first chunk of this, man?
Well, I had a lot of the same thoughts you did. Just see like a new part of the ninja world. Thinking that this could be one of the secret missions that Sasuke went on. I love the fact that he went to prison, and I like while I'm reading all the prison scenes, I'm just like, this dude is a literal god. He is here because he wants to be here. But if he wants to destroy this prison, like it's already gone.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah, I was just about to deliver that Watchmen quote as well. 'Cause anytime somebody of power is in prison, that's just the instant go-to. But yeah, I mean, there's just that dramatic tension of, like anytime Sasuke wants at this point, he could just be like, oh, cool, check out this Sasano thing I've got. And it just blows up the whole prison, which he might need to do to fight dinosaurs.
Right, I know. And who was someone on the channel? I'm actually going to have to look into it, but and I'll probably start searching in the Discord when you guys start chatting about something. But one of our writers on screen in the Screen Rant Discord in our anime manga section was saying how this design looks almost like it's like exactly the same as a particular design from the new Jurassic Park movies or something.
That was my first thought. Like I saw it, I was like, I did not expect Blue to make an appearance in this Naruto Sasuke chapter.
Yeah, isn't that Chris Pratt's
was that from Jurassic Park? Is that Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Chris Pratt's like Dino, his raptor buddy, Blue.
If you guys go to the like beginning, like page 2, where it shows like what would be like the cover art, I guess.
Yeah.
You can actually see the dinosaur, and it is the same colors as the Jurassic World Velociraptors.
Yeah, I think that they even have sort of like to advertise this coming out. They had an even bigger like cover page, and it showed a little bit more dino. I'm definitely not like a dinosaur expert, so I don't know all the names of all the dinosaurs and stuff. But at least the big long neck one,
Brontosaurus,
maybe.
I think
what Littlefoot is?
I think
like
it's I think it's a
Brachio.
Brachiosaurus, isn't that Littlefoot?
Brachio.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Brontosaurus. Oh.
I don't know what the difference is, but
let us know in the comments how
He's the long neck. He's the long neck.
Yeah, let us know in the comments how dino dumb we are, and but yeah. So I as soon as I saw that cover, somebody was going on Twitter, of course, just like, what now? We got dinosaurs in Naruto. What the hell is going on here? And you know what? I'm for it. Like at the end of the chapter, it was revealed that one guy that Sasuke had genjutsu'd and totally flipped the dude's universe around. Pretty much he was sent to jail because he got caught by Sasuke, and he says like, oh yeah, I kind of have some jutsu abilities too. You should help me escape out of here. And then Sasuke tells him no, and then the next day he goes out to the courtyard to start, prison work, because I guess that's what they do in prisons all the time, is just smash rocks. And yeah, there's a bloody, mangled corpse. Also trying to like look at this. Oh, actually, never mind. I was gonna say like, if he's like face down, then a bunch of his limbs have been broken and just like absolutely brutalized. But there's a whole panel where his face is up, and it just looked kind of strange. But yeah, this raptor is just tearing apart this dude. The panel we've got it that is chewing on a lower part of this guy. maybe ripping up some
Lower
sensitive
extremities.
Yeah, some extremities. Definitely stuff don't go to prison, kids, or you might get eaten by a raptor in your most sensitive areas. So, but yeah, I mean, we've never seen anything like this before. I like the idea, like in Naruto, we've gotten to meet some wildlife, and some of them are sentient, like the frogs and the snails and stuff like that. But yeah, we've never seen like dinosaurs or anything like that, and I think that that's a pretty interesting addition here. And even Sasuke is just like, what the hell is that thing? and like, oh, well, maybe the whole Sage of the Six Paths thing is not the most interesting thing about this prison. And that was pretty much the cliffhanger we were left on. We've got some warden who does look like a generic filler Naruto villain, I gotta say. Yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes. It's it did a lot of establishing. It set up a whole new thing, and I'm all for it. I'm 100% sold on this little short story here, and honestly, it's something that I hope that they do more of. Especially if we just have all these other like little short novels. I think they've even adapted some in the anime. In like the last season of the Naruto anime, I think they adapted Itachi's short story, which was supposed to be really really good. I'm all for it because I love the world of Naruto, and as I said earlier, I think it's so rich with so many great story ideas, and just story ideas the anime refuses to do. Instead, let's go see what this curry shop is up to. Oh no, we need ingredients. Oh, let's do 3 episodes where Rock Lee goes and gets curry ingredients. Like, or Hokage is sick and we need to go to some new mysterious land and see how other aspects of the world operate. And like, that's just so much more interesting. I'm kind of disappointed it's taken this long to get there, honestly.
I gotta say, like that was like one of the things I really enjoyed was just how fresh it was by going back to like bare bones. Like I know we said earlier how like Sasuke is just so powerful, he could level this place in an instant if he wanted to, but he's just out here using like he was gonna use Shuriken, but he opted for like his Rinnegan, but he used like a lower tier Rinnegan ability to like keep it more simple. And then we see classic Genjutsu again.
Yeah,
just a normal illusion.
Just getting to see that whole like thought process of, oh, I could just level this whole block and take out these bad guys, or I could use a more subtle approach and just I'll swap that person out but with a watermelon, and I'll just convince that dude he's been drowning for a whole week. Like, that's classic. That's classic Naruto stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, high marks from Jason Hahn here. I love the first chapter of the Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust. Yeah.
I will say this though. So I like Sasuke, obviously, but one of the things that got me really into it or really excited was when they were showing the promotional art for this. Showing the original light novel cover. Things like that. I mean, it showed Sasuke and Sakura, together, and I was like, "Ooh," because you know how I am with like romance in Naruto or anything, and I was like, "Oh man, are we actually?" Because I mean, I still think, and not just in Naruto, freaking Sasuke and Sakura, they are probably the worst couple in all of manga. Like, not even Naruto. Like, it's just so sad because no, it's just like he treats her like crap, and she still marries the guy, and then he's gone all the time. And then when he does come, he like doesn't even interact with his family. And even then, like there was that time where, I think it was just in the anime because I've been watching the anime too, where, Sasuke comes to Sarada's graduation, and Sakura and Sarada's like, "Oh man, you must be, she's saying this to Sakura, her mom. It's like, man, you must be so happy that, Dad's here." And she's like, "Yeah, you know what? I think you're the happiest." Like, just little things like that. It's like, he does not deserve her, and it's just like if we get if this series like so this light novel manga adaptation is able to show them fighting alongside, and we can
Yeah.
actually see Sasuke showing more emotion than just tapping her on the forehead. Like that would be
Yeah,
kind of
let me-
amazing. That's what I'm hoping from this. Like one of the big things. Like I was like, oh man, that's how they're promoting this, is that it's going to be like a Sasuke and Sakura team up. That
Side
would be
story.
awesome.
Oh man, that's honestly my one gripe with this so far, personally too.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, I haven't read the whole short story, so I don't know if she shows up later. But
Yeah.
just from seeing that cover page, I was just like, oh man, it would be so interesting to like see Sasuke and Sakura like go off on a mission together, and you just get to see like their dynamic when they're not around other people, and like just to see Sasuke kind of like open up a little bit more, or at least be a little bit more warm towards the supposed love of his life. Like that's just like a whole dynamic that I would love to see, and I'm almost afraid we're not going to get it, because I'm not sure how many like manga writers can write that sort of like adult relationship, especially with all the baggage that the Naruto series like has with it. So I mean, I would love to see it, because it's something that I wouldn't expect them to be able to that they would do in a manga. And that's coming from a guy who reads a lot of different mangas, but they're all pretty much shonen stuff. So I know that my experience is a little bit more skewed than other people who have read a lot more than I have personally. But that was probably my one disappointment, is they had Sakura on the cover there, and I was like, oh, it just got me excited for what could be in this. And that was one thing that wasn't in this that I was wanting to see. But all the other things I was going on about, I'm a big fan of this and what it could, possibly bring about in the future in the series of Naruto. Because as big as that series is, and as big as that franchise is and popular around the world, like, as somebody who like goes to see a Dragon Ball movie that comes out in the theater every couple years, or even like Jujutsu Kaisen had a really good movie come out lately. It's just there's several other things that get people excited about newer series, and I want to feel excited about Naruto again. Like every once in a while Boruto puts out a pretty good chapter, and I'm like, oh, that's I'm excited to see where they go with that. But that series has failed to get me like pumped up like the Naruto series has. And anytime,
Except the last few chapters have been utterly amazing.
with well, honestly, we're about to get into Boruto chat too, but a lot of the cooler things of the Boruto arc right now, or in the manga, are stuff that don't feel Naruto. They don't feel like they belong in the Naruto series. I feel like it more belongs in like a JoJo series, because it's just so like different than what us Naruto fans grew up reading, and this felt closer to what we grew up reading. So I'm starting to get more excited to be a Naruto fan lately, especially with that short anime tribute that they did a couple weeks ago. It was just phenomenal. If you guys haven't watched that yet, that was like the Naruto anniversary special. They reanimated a bunch of the like best scenes throughout the series and did a very heartfelt tribute, and it was lovely.
I watched the one where it's like a second from every episode.
That doesn't sound like
it was very intense. It was kind of long. But...
Oh, okay, I'll put a link to the thing I'm talking about. It was like a 9-minute thing. It was trending on Twitter, and I think I posted it in our Discord and all that stuff. But
yeah, I watched it. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, I'm actually getting moist in the eyes just thinking about it. But I guess kind of wrapping up the discussion. I mean, this is unfortunately only the first chapter of this side story manga. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. But as I was reading it, I didn't know it was going to be only one chapter. I thought it was a one-shot sort of deal. But as I started getting to like page 45 and Sasuke's like in the prison, I was like, I don't think this is wrapping up in a couple pages. So, but I thought they ended it on a pretty interesting cliffhanger with the dinosaur eating the convict that was trying to get Sasuke to help him escape. And it's still like they're just talking about, it's like, oh, no one's been able to escape here. You can't escape Old Menno, which is the name of this raptor, I guess. And just like, I don't know, a pretty solid punch from a Susanoo would probably do it. Or Sasuke just flying out of there or something. But yeah, even the warden kind of picked up on Sasuke's ability. I mean, I doubt that he knows who Sasuke is. And all that stuff. But that's kind of another thing too, is like, as big as, you know, the Shinobi War was at the end of the Naruto arc, and of course the whole world getting hypnotized for, you know, about a half a day, I would think that, you know, some people might, man, what was the deal with all that? Oh, well, there's this whole other place on the other side of this world called Konoha and blah 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 blah. Like,
just there's a war going on. What?
Yeah, this is the fourth one. What? And again, it's just kind of going back into like, just really curious on like how the rest of the world of Naruto operates, because Konoha and the whole Land of Fire is just essentially like a Japan-sized landmass in this entire world. So just incredibly excited to see more of the world, and this manga kind of delivered it. And of course, I'm just hungry for more too. But yeah, hopefully the next chapter kind of gives us more of that. But anything else about the Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust that you guys want to talk about before we head into Boruto?
No, I mean, Shonen Jump doesn't have the usual ticker for it, you know, which usually signifies, you know, when the next chapter is going to drop. Since there's no ticker, I guess it's going to be a while, which is kind of sad.
It gets here when it gets here.
Yeah.
When it's ready.
But yeah, that's my only other comment besides, you know, wanting more Sakura and Sasuke.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I almost wonder if Kakashi's going to be showing up, because they name dropped him earlier too. Just like, oh, well, don't worry, Naruto. Sasuke and Kakashi are out looking for the thing. So, but I would kind of love if like, if it was Sakura too. Like, Sasuke is just like trying to figure something out. He's like in the cafeteria, and then like Sakura or Kakashi just wander in prison scrubs too. Just like, oh man, that would be so cool.
Sakura piece up the dinosaur.
Yeah, I want to see Sakura punch a dinosaur. If that doesn't happen in this, I'll be disappointed. All right, guys. Well, I think that'll do it for our chat on Naruto Sasuke Story – The Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust, the manga, Part 1. We need to come up with shorter titles, guys, by the way. We need to message Shonen and be like, yeah, or just, yeah, we'll get on that. But
at least it's not like the other ones where it's like, I was in the party of heroes and then I got kicked out, but then I decided to become an alchemist instead, and then I became an SSS ranked monster. Like some of those
the anime
are so ridiculous. Oh
yeah,
God.
Absolutely. We're just like, okay, well, I don't have character limits. I have character limits on writing an article about this. I can't write this whole thing out.
Where it's like, well, I guess I know what this thing is about. I guess if I'm not interested in the title, I won't be interested in the manga.
It doesn't leave enough to the imagination.
Yeah.
Speaking of imagination, we're going to start talking about Boruto, Naruto, Next Generations.
I'm more excited for that than for this than Sasuke.
All right. Well, if you're jumping ahead in the podcast to listen to Boruto, welcome to Mega Manga Mondays. We just finished talking about the nice little side story, kind of a new manga of a manga interpretation of one of the short story novels that was very enjoyable. But Boruto had its new chapter come out, chapter 74, and our official title is Baptism by Fire. And here on Mega Manga Mondays, we've talked about the last couple chapters of Boruto. It's a monthly series right now, so it's coming out very slowly, but with some slightly bigger chapters. So that's kind of nice. But the last chapter we left off on was really just more of a kind of a negotiation, if you will. We haven't had a lot of big battles lately. Honestly, it still feels like the anime rushed to adapt the Sasuke and Naruto fighting Ishin fight, and that still feels like it just happened, like in the manga.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, we're still kind of dealing with Code. He got his limiters removed, and then Ida told him to scram, and then Damon asserted his little bro dominance and just whooped up on Code. Again, Code is consistently getting whooped up on, which is one of my biggest issues with this whole thing right now. So we don't really have a villain to be afraid of, and you know, classical battle shonen sort of things. Oh, I'm the big powerful guy. Oh no, how are we going to beat the big powerful guy? Oh, we need to get more powerful and blah 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 blah. But every time like we're supposed to be afraid of this Code character, he just gets like beaten, and it's not really that intimidating. I think one way that this series has like really changed up the format from other like classical shonen battle stuff is Ida. We have these cyborg characters. By the way, I feel kind of weird. Like we just got done talking about the Sasuke thing, which yes has dinosaurs in it, and now we're going into Boruto, which has cyborgs in it. It's just what is this? What is this franchise now? But Ida and her little brother Damon are both cyborgs, and Ida has just this magical ability, chakra ability. It's not even a chakra thing. It's just confusing kind of now. Is as I said earlier in our discussion on the previous Naruto Sasuke journey thing, it just Ida like feels like she has a JoJo stand ability, which that's a whole series where people just get crazy huge variety of abilities, and some of them are really cool, like, oh, I can stop time around me and, you know, punch things really hard, and other things are like, I can make a direct copy of that desk, and now that desk is sentient, and now you're a baby, and you're like, what is happening? Like and that's kind of how I feel like some of these cyborg powers have been. They're just like, it's literally anything we want it to be, and don't think too hard on how it works. And you're like, okay, well, as soon as we learned like Ida's abilities, like she just instantly affects anybody within a certain range with like infatuation. And depending on somebody's IQ level, I believe is how it works. It depends how they're affected. So as soon as Ida gets off the train,
is that? I mean, I guess that would make sense. I didn't realize that, but I guess that makes sense since Shikamaru doesn't fall in love with her, he just has like a headache or something. That would make sense because he's really, really smart. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Shikamaru is like wicked smart, and
yeah,
but that's one thing that they like just kind of brought up and they haven't given more clarification on. Is just like her abilities work differently on different people, and sometimes it'll just like cause nausea and give you a really bad headache. And as we saw with other people in here, like Sai instantly becomes infatuated. He's like, let me hold your bags. Let me help you out. And, but that's not the only ability Ida has either. She has like ultimate clairvoyance or something like that, which she can pretty much see everything all at once, or just if somebody's like having a conversation in Konoha, it can be privy to it. And if she wasn't like paying attention, she can just think about it and just be like, oh yeah, that's the thing you're talking about. So as soon as she shows up, she's just like, I know, I read I read the previous chapter of Boruto, Shikimaru. You don't have to tell me where I need to go because I read the manga, is essentially what she says. And then she just casually starts flying away. That's another thing she can do, I guess. Which, you know, I'm not against. You know, people have been able to fly in Naruto. I actually kind of liked that aspect where Amando is not surprised by it. He's like, oh yeah, pretty much flying is just something Akatsuki people can do. Boruto and Kawaki will probably start doing it. It's not going to be that surprising. And you're just like, okay, I like that the rest of the world is like, that's weird. And like acknowledging it. It just feels like the whole, it's, just kind of those little details that I really appreciate. But before on a previous podcast, we're saying like, okay, well, if Ida like comes to Konoha, it's going to be really interesting to see how her ability affects all the people, that we've known in Konoha, especially the ninjas we've grown up with. Very curious to see how Naruto is going to react to Ida, especially if his wife is sitting right next to him. Just a lot of drama, and honestly, I wasn't suspecting we'd get to this point. I was almost expecting like code to ambush the train, or some reason for them not to go the way it has, but it did, and I really enjoyed this chapter compared to the last couple chapters. Really, from I guess Steven's perspective, because I know, Steven, your big thing is just the relationships and the drama and stuff like that. And I thought that this was really well handled throughout this entire chapter.
Yeah.
Getting to see like Konohamaru just fall backwards and kind of loses composure. I thought it was really interesting that Sarada like didn't get affected. So I'm almost wondering if people with special eyes like Sharingans and stuff like that maybe aren't affected by her abilities. But I also just love the design of Ida. So getting to see like the artist just, we literally got like 5 panels of her landing on a porch, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say, yeah,
Pay attention, though.
yeah,
what was that,
let's
Todd?
see.
Sorry, you were kind of muffled
I,
there.
I was just saying, we did get 5 panels of her landing on the porch. I didn't even realize that.
Oh yeah, it was like 2 pages. Sorry, what was that, Steven?
Well, no, so yeah, I mean, I guess I can delve into this. Like, I have so much to say; it'll just last an hour. But and you mentioned the Konohamaru, his whole thing. That was actually got me really excited, because even though it's not an official, like his relationship with Moegi, like they are like one of those fan favorite couples that everyone is theorizing or hoping they're going to get together type of deal. And it's just the fact that there is that particular moment when Moegi she is reacting or like thinking, it's like, man, little Konohamaru, please don't, I hope God you're not ogling over this girl type of deal. And we see him actually doing that, and it actually gives me hope. And I'm writing an article about that. How this could actually happen with Naruto and Hinata. It's like one of those things where, like, this whole cohabitation thing, I never thought it would ever happen. It's something I wanted in my wildest dreams, and it's happening. And it's like the same with, Naruto and Hinata being affected by this power, and now we're seeing it possibly happening because it's happening with another quote unquote couple. So I'm just really excited about that. I mean, because already their whole relationship, Moegi and Konohamaru, like they're one of those what do they call it, portmanteau, where their names are squished together, Kono Moegi type of things.
Oh, a portmanteau.
Yeah. Huh?
A portmanteau.
Yeah, portmanteau. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for context, for people who don't remember, because it was honestly one of those things where I looked at her, I was like, oh yeah, that's the girl. Back when Konohamaru was a little tyke, following around Naruto, he had his own like cell, and there was Booger Boy, who always had snot going out of his nose, who got more time to shine in the Boruto anime. He actually, I think, developed his booger powers to like solidify, and he turns it into weapons or something like that. It's very silly. But yeah, Moegi, if that's her name, was the other girl in Konohamaru's like thing. So they've been friends for a very long time, and getting to see just that generation like being the teachers now, because Naruto's generation are like the old people kind of like they're kind of the level up from that. So getting to see like Konohamaru be a teacher for Team 7 is always really nice and rewarding. But also just like seeing Moagi and other people like playing a role, and her showing up and telling oh boy, I can't think of the kids' names now, but Choji's daughter and Sai's daughter being overly infatuated with Ida, and then Moagi just shows up and pulls on their ear and just like, I told you not to come here. We knew that she was gonna infatuate everybody around her, so we need to get out of here. And Konohamaru, you better not be slacking on the job. And turn the page to Konohamaru slacking on the job. But sorry, I just needed to fill that in for anybody who maybe didn't remember who Moagi was.
Right. Yeah. No. And it's yeah. So it's just really exciting that this could be happening. It's kind of I'm hoping it's going to be a foreshadowing of what's to come. But also another thing, and what you were saying made a lot of sense with wow, now I'm forgetting her kid, Sasuke's kid. Sarada. Yeah. I was saying it could be like a Sharingan, ability that makes it so she's not affected by Aida's power. One of the things I was thinking, just because I'm like my mind's always in couple romance land, is since the Otseki, if you're 100% Otseki, you are immune to Aida's power, and since Sarada and Boruto they're kind of that couple thing, like, oh, does she love him type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As like, what if someone has very strong feelings for an Otseki, like with like Boruto, like would that make them immune to those powers? Like, I know they're not together type of thing, but I think that would be kind of
it's like an infectious
that's like
sort of
where
thing.
my mind is going. So it's like, oh, maybe, and then that could prove the theory that she actually has those feelings for him. Because obviously, they just have a really close relationship. They obviously care about each other and what they think, and so there's nothing to actually say like, oh my God, they're actually in love type of thing. But it's just like one of those.
I was kind of thinking that it was more so like the kind of in the same realm of like it being involved with the Otsutsuki, but the Sharingan is like just a denomination of the Rinnegan, which is just a denomination of pure Otsutsuki power. So I was saying, like, the way I'm looking at it is like maybe that could offer some sort of, because she has a Sharingan, that's what's offering up some sort of resistance against Ada's power.
Yeah, I honestly think that's more likely than it being like a contagious sort of thing. Because honestly, Orochimaru's son, Mitsuki, has definitely throughout the anime and a little bit in the manga has shown like he has huge admiration towards Boruto. And in the anime, it almost seems like it might be a romantic sort of way, even though I would be blown away and love it if they did that. But I really don't see Shonen Jump doing that sort of relationship in this series. But I the whole like Sarada not being affected by it just gets me really excited for, as you said, like Boruto and Sarada kind of have a will they, won't they sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think in the manga they've even done like a couple things where Mitsuki's, I think, gone up to Sarada and he's just like, oh, you care about her, don't you? And she's like, no, shut up, whatever. And she gets blushy. I would love like Ida being here to maybe force that relationship to develop, because Boruto is also somebody who's not going to be infected by Ida's abilities. If Ida, like, either things don't go well with Kawaki, or to maybe make Kawaki like her more, maybe she'll start flirting with Boruto. And I would love it if Sarada sees that and she's not affected by Ida's things, so it kind of forces Sarada to be like, oh man, maybe I do like Boruto. And that could possibly evolve that relationship, kind of force Boruto and or Sarada to reevaluate their feelings towards each other. And yeah, this is totally just getting into like, we want this to be a romantic manga now. Like,
Well, well, like if you think about it, though, one of the reasons, or one of the ways how I justify the romance in this, like whenever you look at any fan fiction of anything, it's always, couples aren't really couples coupling up, or people that always wanted to be a couple are now. Like that's what fans write about because that's what they care about, and it's just the fact that Boruto is catering to that. It's like just a great, like a fan's dream type of thing.
mm-hmm.
That's why there's some people that are just so against that it's happening, but it's like this is what most of fandom write about and fantasize about, and it's happening. Like I think it's just really awesome.
Well, I guess that brings up the question, like, are you okay with Boruto becoming a really, really good fanfic? Or would you rather be like a sequel to the Naruto series?
Well, like, I'm more a fan of this than anything else that's happened in Boruto.
Right.
Like, and I mean, this is the stuff that I wanted to focus on. Like, even in Naruto, I always liked the show. I never read the manga when I was a kid. Like, I loved the show, but what I loved the most were those moments between Naruto and Hinata. Like, I thought their interactions were freaking adorable. And I loved it. And that's what, like, I wasn't just watching it for that, but when they got together, it's like, oh, this is my favorite part. Like,
actually, like, to that point, one of the big draws of Naruto in the beginning was the fact that it was more so the narrative was told by the relationships between the characters, not so much what was happening. It was more so, like, based on how the characters were reacting to what was happening.
Yeah, so, and it's like, yeah, exactly. And with that, like, there was how it started. There was the love triangle. Naruto is obsessed with Sakura, and Sakura is obsessed with Sasuke, and Sasuke is obsessed with himself. I don't know. Well, no, he's obsessed with Itachi. Like, it was just that was the start of the anime or the manga. Like, that's
the story. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. It's like, yeah. And it just always stayed that way for me. So the fact that we're going this way, I'm just a complete 100% fan. I don't know.
Yeah, and it seemed as soon as things were, kind of coming together, I just think Ida is such a compelling character. I mean, other than her having a incredibly attractive design, other than the, of course, obvious, curves and stuff like that, but just her color, her color palette, like, it's just so striking. And they just kind of nailed, like, that's what her abilities do to people in the manga. I think they have fully come out of the manga. I was going to say, it's fully infected Steven, as we know. But so
sounds like you're next.
Well, I don't know. I'm waiting for Delta to come back personally, but as soon as, like, I love the whole dynamic that, like, in most situations, Ida is queen. Like, people are just like, oh, please step on me, Ida. There's a puddle over here. I'll lay over it. You can walk on top of me. Don't get wet.
I'll become a Denji for you.
Yeah. But then as soon as, like, Kawaki shows up, she's like, I'm too afraid to go down the stairs. He's in that room. I can hear his voice. And just that whole, like, cute tension that's going on. And then that instantly all gets dispelled with Damon jumping on Boruto's back and just instantly being like, you jerk, I'm a little brother. And just like, okay, well, what's going on here? And I thought it was kind of weird that, like, Kawaki goes to attack Damon while he's on Boruto's back. Which, I'm not really sure how that attack would have gone. Like, it would have pierced Boruto if you hit. But then all of a sudden, Kawaki just, of course, we know, like, Damon has, like, a reject ability. Anybody who, like, tries to harm him has that go back to them. But it just kind of had, like, Kawaki instantly appear on the other side of them and fly towards the living room, I guess. I don't know, that just kind of bugged me. But getting to see like Kawaki try to kill Damon right there with like the little rods that he can just instantly throw and increase their size, and seeing Damon just grab them all in quick succession, it's just they've made Damon more terrifying than Code consistently.
I actually can't wait to see Damon get beat, whereas Code, I'm just like, eh.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to see Damon get serious. Like that's what I
Yes.
because there's just nothing more freaky than like an all-powerful crazy kid.
Yeah.
Like it's already like scary. Like even in Dragon Ball, like when Gohan was a kid, like he was just scary. Like even though he was a good guy, it's like, oh my god, he can't control himself. It's like that same type of dynamic.
Yeah, and I just don't know how this like relationship is going to explode, because I feel like if Code arrived now, even with all the tailed beast clone things, I don't know, that's all really unclear right now. But even if he showed up right now to Konoha, he's going to be having to fight Damon and Ida too, because I think that they're actively okay with this living situation, devised by the goat Shikamaru. But like the only person I would love to see fight Damon is like Shikamaru. Because he seems like the only person who could come up with something. We also had the idea in a previous podcast as if Hidan, got dug up from the forest and just became like a God of War style head on somebody's belt and just giving them the advice. But an immortal head would be pretty dangerous to Damon, I think.
Shikamaru would just use Hidan's head to like take the damage or whatever, and then it would like reflect itself back on Damon, like reflect the reflection. I don't know.
Yeah,
makes sense in my head.
It's something cool in my head that I want to see happen. And honestly, with us, like at this point of the story, we're like, oh man, it'd be so crazy if Ida like moved into Konoha and we got to see all those people, get hypnotized by her ability and stuff like that. They would never do that, but it'd be really cool. Well, here we are. So hopefully we get to see see that sort of theory played out. But the chapter kind of ended with everyone kind of sitting down and Amando finally being like, all right, I'll tell you everything, I guess, which is something that I feel, could have happened a long time ago. But I wonder if we'll finally get one of the big theories that we've had is Ida might be Amando's daughter, who got sick or got injured beyond repair or beyond fixing. So Ida might be his daughter that he's like fixed up with these abilities and stuff. But we're apparently going to get a big info dump from Amando, and hopefully, we have some kind of something, a focus to move towards, because right now it's just like, honestly, I'm good with Amando not saying anything, and then us just spending the next few chapters just seeing how everyone lives their lives with Ida in town. But I think the next big, like, we got to deal with this problem is probably going to get revealed in the next chapter. But what are some stuff that you guys hope to see next time?
I don't even know at this point. I just don't know where this is going to go. So I'm pretty much... I gotta say, this was a better chapter than the last one.
Yeah.
But in terms of where it's gonna go from here, I don't even know. So I don't even know what to hope for. But at least I can say I'm more invested in it with this chapter than I was with the previous one.
Yeah, because this just had so many like character moments, like from so many. I mean, that's the thing with this being a sequel series, is Naruto had no shortage of characters, and getting to see so many of them affected by what's going on. It's awesome. I'm enjoying this, and hopefully the next chapter consistently brings it. But how about you?
Delivers.
What was that?
I was just saying, hopefully it delivers.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about you, Steven? What would you like to happen next?
Well, I mean, something that I still want to know and we weren't able to see yet, because a good portion of the chapter was focusing on that Damon fight, which I think the reason for that was to kind of prolong the meaning between Aida and Kawaki. But what I want to see is because he's only part Atsuki, so we still don't know like how he will be affected yet. And since he was asleep for most of the time, like he had been knocked out, and then he was on Aida's lap the whole time until he woke up. Like I'm just interested in knowing how much he's affected by her powers and how much he isn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm almost afraid it's so far. It's almost like a Sasuke Sakura sort of situation where the girl's all like, "Oh my god, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread," and Kawaki's just like, "What's your name again?"
Well, I mean that's like the thing. Like it has that dynamic, but at the same time, it's like she's not like a victim of it. Like she's like the way she's been talking about him. It's like she hasn't even like discussed the possibility that he just might not like her. Like she's basically just been saying, "You're mine," type of thing. It's like you have no choice in the matter. And it I don't know, that it seems like that's empowering her character. When Sakura, like, she would throw herself at Sasuke and then Sasuke would just treat her like crap and then she'd be hurt. Like it just doesn't seem like Aida's going to be like that. That's why another thing I'm really excited about is just having that, like, in future chapters, seeing how much she's going to be empowered by it, and that will in turn fix the Sakura problem. Like that, I kind of see like Aida as the fix to that Sakura problem.
Absolutely.
So that's one. Yeah.
Yeah, great point. And that's something too. Like if Kawaki, totally botches this and makes Ida mad, then what happens? Like what does Aida look like when she's mad?
Yeah, no, and that was actually one of the things. Well, the only good thing I liked about the fight between Damon, like, I was just like, oh man, they're just filling up the pages. It's like, nah. But it was just the fact that every time before, like, anyone has attacked Damon, or like she's freaked out, and just the fact, like, how is this gonna react? Because she's always been very protective of Damon. So I think that was like one of the reasons for that fight too. Is that like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, how's she gonna react to this? Being obviously she didn't do anything. So, but yeah, it's just very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Well, next time chapter comes out next month, we'll most likely be talking about it. So, look forward to that next one. But anything else on Naruto, short story, or Boruto that you guys want to talk about before we move into plugs and recommendations?
Do you think we'll see the dinosaurs in Boruto at some point?
No. We already got cyborgs. I think that they would be, unless Code shows up with an army of dinosaurs.
His people got tails.
Yeah. Who knows?
They do got lizard tails.
Yeah,
I haven't considered the possibility of cyborg dinosaurs.
Maybe next arc. I think we're currently in the Android saga of Boruto. Maybe the next arc will be dinosaur time travel. That'd be cool. But wow. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm pretty much all set.
Yeah, I'm all set.
All right, guys. Well, this has been Mega Manga Mondays, talking Boruto Chapter 74. Please check out other Mega Manga Monday episodes. We also do podcasts where we talk about series like One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and My Hero Academia, and a few others. But you can follow us on Twitter for updates at Manga Mondays. And we have a pretty fancy website with all the podcasts and stuff you can check out. You can go there at the website is megamangamondays.podbean.com. And we usually just like to talk about new series whenever a new chapter comes out that we think is pretty cool. So as I said, we got a lot of conversations about different mangas there. But I, Jason Hahn, also have a YouTube channel called Hansi and Friends. There I like to stream gaming, cool video games and stuff like that on Wednesdays and Sundays. That about do it for my plugs. Steven, you got any plugs or recommendations, man?
Yeah, well, actually, I gotta jump off in like a second, but I'll just say that my interview with the producer of Chainsaw, not producer, but the composer of the Chainsaw Man anime is up. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Oh,
Well,
gotta jump.
yeah, thanks for your time, man. I'll be having that link and a link to Steven's other Screen Rant stuff as well in the description. So check that out. And Todd, any recommendations today, man?
Um, Nah, I think I am fresh out of content recommendations, unfortunately. Stay tuned for next time though, because I'm always doing something different, so I might have something else to give you.
Awesome, excellent. Well, yeah, I know you've been all busy getting all married and stuff.
Yeah,
Congratulations again, man.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for your time, man. We'll definitely be talking more Naruto and Boruto. Hopefully, we have
Hopefully Hansi and friends will have a Storm episode, Naruto Ninja Storm episode coming
yeah,
at some
man.
point.
Yeah, would love to have you on there. As I had my birthday a couple weeks ago, or almost a month
Oh,
ago at
happy
this point.
belated birthday.
Thank you. And yeah, that was kind of a time on my Hanzi and Friends channel where I was just like, you know what? I don't care about analytics. I'm just gonna play what I think is fun and awesome. So, played some Naruto Ninja Storm online and the story mode, which oh boy, they do the story mode justice with some of those
Oh,
cutscenes,
yes, they
man.
do. Yes, they do. And Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, I feel, tells that portion of the Naruto story better than the manga or the anime.
Wow, this is some big words. I can agree with you on some of those, maybe not all of them. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Until then.
Peace.